So let me get this straight. He's a Cosmic, he's a Mystic, and Platinumpool is back next month, and you can actually get him. Yes, August is going to be pretty crazy. Let's have a look at this. Yes, it seems that the Galactus saga continues, with Terex, with Silver Surfer, and now Airwalker increasing that story arc of Galactus's, well, I'd say manipulation, strangulation, and future manipulation of the contest at large. I'm still very much on the fence with these two characters, but if there's going to be some additions to increasing the line of Heralds of Galactus, yes, I would have liked this to have been Cosmic Ghost Rider. With DragonMan, I think it's more of a case of it will have its own individual perks, but add more synergization to champions like the Fantastic Four, and as well increase that type of universe in game. And also some synergies with Diablo, who was quite prominent in the creation of this character with science and alchemy. Now, the weird thing about Airwalker is, yes, persistent charges, but you can only do an SP3, which is the most devastating and also helpful type of special attack the champion has. But you've got to do it you got to have 3 wins under your belt, 3 persistent charges in order to get all this stuff. And it's great. You get all these kind of like amazing like buffs for every one of these persistent charges. Now, in a very weird turn of events, Airwalker requires you to win 2 fights before he can use his special attack 3. And if you do that, then you'll be able to, in pink, get this fantastic kind of booster to your signature ability, which I want to assume is ×3, based on this being max 3 times of this. But I could be wrong. The SP3 is quite devastating as well, but man, is 2 fights to get this particular access worth it? And as you can see here, Airwalker replaces Power Cosmic with the Power of Galactus buff for 20 seconds, which grants attack rating by 2,640, regeneration by 4,984. You gain 10.5% of a bar of power every second, gain a passive unstoppable effect. Every attack has a 100% chance to deal an additional burst of direct damage. The damage is equal to 5% of the damage dealt per Dark Tide on the opponent. And one of the cool things is the Dark Tide effect has different types of cross-fight class effects, which is really cool. You know, it's been a while since we've seen something like this, so it's nice to change it up. And you can see on screen at the moment. So like if you've got a Cosmic, or going to get Cosmic, its buff potency is reduced by 50%. If it's Mystics, they mystical energies resist the Dark Tide. So that's a negative effect. So watch out for that. Don't go against Mystics. Mutants reduce offensive ability during special attacks by 33%. Handy if there's certain interactions with anything else. Tech, you know, reduces the duration of potency of power drain, lock, and burn effects by 70%. And for more information on the Dark Tide debuffs, you can find it on screen at the moment, or go to the link in the description to see the full champion abilities. One thing that it feels to me is like this is like Silver Surfer, or how Silver Surfer should be, especially if he out damages or looks a bit more substantial than Silver Surfer. But we'll have to see what happens when this champion enters into the game next month. Also, for those interested in prestige of both champions, DragonMan and Airwalker, unfortunately it's not right up there with the likes of Dr. Doom and Silver Surfer. It is right down here with Mr. Fantastic, getting both 10,630, which does put them between Mr. Fantastic and Black Widow. So they'll take 17th and 18th position, and you can check out May if you want any prestige information in general. But yeah, that's slightly disappointing, but you know, if they're good champions, they do good damage output, good utility, then I don't know if that overly matters, but it will matter for those that are very much increasingly looking at new champions, prestige bumps, and other things like that. Now, I think one of the biggest surprises for players is that this character is a Mystic. Now, that's the whole thing with Diablo, that whole kind of like alchemy and mysticism that comes with it. That's the reason that this overshadows and overpoints to this being the Mystic class, which is kind of weird because it's an android and science plays a part in it. But yeah, I guess that's the problem. Got to go Mystic if everything else is very confusing. Again, for those interested in when this champion drops, it will be August 27th. Now here's where DragonMan gets fun. He is a Corvus counter, and also he is a Medusa counter as well. And anything that is cosmic related, he will go and he will smash them up. Smash them up because he replicates buffs, or he can interact with them. He can just suppress, and as well, if he gets armor break, he can then shoot degeneration back. He's got immunities based on the fact he's a robot. So like, there's so many cool things going for this champion already. Also, if he gets you against the wall, it's going to be very, very painful. And as well, he can spam a lot of special attacks, which does make him pretty cool. Especially for stuff like Node's Power Shield, I think it's called. The one where you do exponential amounts of special attacks and obviously play very aggressively in order to do damage through specials. So that's going to be something of a great asset. Also, if he goes up against some non-site specific champions, he can get some amazing interactions. If the enemy's got regen, he reduces the opponent's regen rate by 35%. Power gain, he does an effect. Fury gets an effect. Armor up gets an effect. You know, anytime that he has an interaction with a champion that casts a buff, he is going to be stonkingly effective. Not to suppress, but just to kind of, well, in some ways suppress, but in other ways, just kind of go like, right, if you get a positive effect, I'm getting one too, and I'm going to smash you up. As I said, check out the links in the description that will take you to these deep dives and spotlights. I've just skimmed a lot of it, but the fact is, these two look pretty cool. I love the way that this particular Cosmic just seems like a bulldozer, like a Corvus Silver Surfer on speed with extra debuff damage. I like Dragon Man because he's like a void mixed with so many other different champions, but a mystic class, and we've got this kind of like smush of two very fun champions. I'm not going to overhype them, but I must say I'm impressed with the way they've been built. With previous months, I haven't really enjoyed the way that they've been put together, and some of the abilities look a bit kind of, well, naff. But these two actually look quite exciting and interesting. And I think more so because one's a Cosmic and one's a Mystic. And I've got lots of Mystic and Cosmic resources, so maybe that's why I'm interested in them. But let's see. Let's see what happens when they get released. Now, hot on the heels of the success of the Canadian difficulty in the side quest, RichTheMan are now going to give us the Herald difficulty, which, as it says here, and this is a bit ominous, but we'll see what happens, that is more substantial danger calls for increased rewards. So that, I mean, that can mean anything really with it. But there's going to be the Herald difficulty, which unlocks the special solo objective, special objectives to get tier 5 class catalyst fragments and more. Man, I hope there's some stonking rewards next month. And will Kabam allow more than 3 champions to be used in this particular side quest? And will we see any ambushes? I don't think so. I think it would just be a case of like, it'll be expanded. We'll have 5, but the difficulty may be a lot bigger and a lot more extensive. But we'll have to see what happens next month on this. But tier 5 class catalyst fragments, ooh, gimme, gimme, gimme. Let's face it, a lot of players are going to be looking out for seeing that variant 5 drop, which is going to be more entertaining, more interesting, more fun. And will it be a fact that the rewards will change? I doubt it, but I think that it would be nice to see something like a 2017 gems, which, let's face it, nowadays, you know, a lot of players are looking to grab and kind of revamp rosters. Older champions are getting buffed, so that would be great to see. Something that's important to remember is bring those mystics, hashtag Spider-Verse heroes, or hashtag symbiote champions to enter. Each chapters will feature a unique global buff, enhancing the abilities of one of those groups, and fights that will challenge your skills. Also, the next member that looks like we'll be able to get Platinumpool, and it says summon, so maybe there's going to be some crystals in order to get him, which, let's face it, we'll spend a lot of units on and never get him, and we'll be utterly disappointed by the end of it. But you may get a new champion, so kind of yay. Next up, and something that's absolutely incredible, is the autocomplete daily quest. Now, I would like this iteration to be rolled out elsewhere, and in particular with a heroic monthly difficulty. And why? That is just because you're able to grab things like units and other resources from doing this stuff here, and it's usually pretty easy for the roster, depending on your current roster size and its rank and worth. But the same thing could be said for like Master as well, with some players that are able to do it. There are people out there with rank 3, 6 stars that are able to go like, I'll just go and just like, you know, they could just auto complete it all. But again, it depends on roster size, strength. It could be a case of, well, energy cost as well, how it's presented, how it's done. Is it a like a dice rolled type thing, like RNG, that if you don't do X, Y, and Z, then you're gonna lose it. You'll lose the energy. Things have to be considered. But other games put in a similar system where you're able to auto-complete. So it would be nice for that to be something that we see in game in other areas, not just the daily. Also, one of the big things of interest is the champion boss fight of 6.2.6. Do bear in mind, do not do this until this has been changed, because it is a little bit more easier. The block penetration is frustrating. The amount of building up for dexterity charges, especially if you're in a bad internet area, it's not very consistent, so changing that from 5 to 3 is very helpful. Not to mention the reduced nullifying damage from 10% of attack, modified attack to 2%, very helpful as well. And replacing the no retreat node with kinetic transference, which is very, very important. This fight is part of a big change of Act 6, which can't come sooner enough. So do make sure to do this next month, as it starts off maybe, I mean, for me, I'm going to be 100%ing 6.2.6 and all of it, hopefully next month. Okay, and one of the final things to end on is new features and updates. The Alliance tickets are now going to be spread across for those that run different types of setups for maps, because let's face it, some do map 7, and then maybe the other 2 battle groups do map 6. So having a split is obviously very helpful. Now, as well, there's something here that says gave Platinumpool the ability to speed up during auto fight, and I don't know if that's I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. You know, do you have to get was Platinumpool in the game? Is he very slow as it is? Is he going to be a playable character? You know, again, I'm not 100% sure why that's in there, but it must be important to a degree. And then finally, update the Inequity Mastery to use the opponent's modified attack rather than their base attack. Personally, I don't know how this will go down. It's been a while since I've ran Inequity, and I don't know if I'd ever return back to kind of putting it on, especially with it being changed to the modified as opposed to the base. But yeah, it's one of these things where I think it's best to throw it over to the court of MCOC community feedback, and as well just feelings towards this and how they feel about the matter. So I'm sure there'll be like a forum post about it and people will have their say. So I'll kind of like go off of that and then put something together for the next time I do Marvel Contest of Champions news, probably the Wednesday edition. So yeah, busy month. Now, the astute among you will probably go, where is the dual class crystals? And I've been reliably informed that they'll either drop in the next week, but that will either be, as I said, end of July, early August, but they haven't decided to put it in the information for the release notes, even though it is going to be part of the build. It's kind of weird. I guess we've just got to trust that they will come in. If I get any more updates that's more concrete than that, I'll let you know. But as Kabam have said, it will be end of July, so it could even be the end of this week, or it'll be early August, which will be like, well, next week or the week after. I guess it just depends if they can build it and put it in as quickly as they do other crystals. We'll have to see. And also, if you didn't see the news yesterday, Boss Rush is on tomorrow, and as well, Summer of Pain will be released at some point in the next couple of months, but it is a big piece of content. In any case, check out some of the stuff that's recently been posted on the channel there, check out some other stuff down here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.